to it?
I got it caught up with a drunk.
You what?
I was dancing with this fella off a tanker, said he hadn't quite found his land legs.
Why, where was he looking for him?
Well, that's just it. I didn't know it were on till I got up this morning.
Well, we've got nothing for broken ankles.
But you have got some cheap tights. Have you seen these? They were supposed to be run resistant.
Hey, it's a can-can.
Are we in the common market already?
It's Bastille Day. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Vous êtes all right today, aren't you, n'est-ce pas?
Get Teddy, will you?
I've told you, Langton, one more word of French out of you and I'll stick your fingers under the bacon slicer.
But it's Bastille Day.
Bacon slicer day.
Deutschland über alles, that's what I always say.
Oh, is this what it's going to be like when we go in? I don't want to know.
Is nobody flipping buying anything? It is a shop, you know.
Yes, I am, and Minori. Can you make that up for me, love?
I will, yes. Oh, do you want big eggs?
Middling, please. You don't mind me cutting in, do you?
Oh, we wouldn't dare, love.
How's the boss then?
Boss?
Alan?
How should I know? I've not seen him since 12 minutes past midnight last night.
Try waiting up for him.
And I could do without cracks like that from you. Thank you very much. Excuse me.
So with her, that's what she wanted, isn't it?
10 tip, please, love. What she wants and what she gets are two different things. Thank God I'm not ambitious.
Tough luck, mate, because I am. Let's shape.
Tara.
And I used to be my own boss.
See ya, keep smiling.
Try.
Well, have you had a go at him, then?
No, I haven't.
A go at whom?
Ken Barlow. Oh, he done it all right. Sticks out a mile.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but he does come under suspicion.
Oh, he's number one suspect, all right.
But that's ridiculous. There's no reason at all to think that Ken did that cartoon.
I don't know. There is a possibility. Mrs. Ogden has a point. He is under strong suspicion.
Suspicion. Does it really matter? I mean, if we're going to go round suspecting our friends, I mean, where's it going to end?
Well, you've changed your tune, haven't you?
Well, what good does it do? I know you enjoy flinging accusations around, but I don't.
Listen, I'm not accusing nobody. I'm just saying it was very likely him. Very likely.
It's not very likely anybody.
Oh, something wrong with your logic there, Miss Nugent. Are you saying it's very likely nobody done it, then?
You know perfectly well what I mean.
Oh, for Pete's sake, let it drop.
Well, it wasn't a figment of the imagination.
Oh, yes, it was. It was a figment of a very nasty imagination. Now, you said yesterday that it was an outrageous lampoon, your very words.
Well, yes, I know, but...
But is it or is it not a lampoon?
Oh, no denying that. It's a lampoon, all right.
But is it worth poisoning the whole atmosphere?
I'm not doing that. I just want to know who my friends are.
Well, I think you should be careful you don't lose a lot of innocent friends while you're about it.
Ah, well, you're well shut of somewhat call themselves friends in this world.
You, Mrs. Ogden, you're just revelling in this little orgy of suspicion, aren't you?
Now, just a minute, Miss Goody Two-Shoes.
Grubbing about for all the spiteful little clues and insinuations. Oh, you're having a fine time. I'm going out before I say something I'll regret.
Well, she's got a nerve.
What on earth brought all that on?
Oh, she always was a bit peculiar.
Well, of course, there are still quite a lot of people who think it might have been her. You know, she's probably a little hurt. It's quite understandable.
Hey, have you got that cartoon anywhere?
I wouldn't know.
Here you are.
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, no, he is on it. There.
Who is?
Ernie Whatsit, her fancy man. No, it just dawned on me, you see. That could be another reason why she mightn't be on it.
What if he did it? Oh, don't be daft.
It's very alert of you, Mrs. Ogden.
Oh, I don't miss much, you know. Only, of course, he is on it. I mean, he'd hardly be likely to do himself, would he?
Well, not so truthfully.
No.
I mean, it really is him. Oh, well, I suppose that's another possibility we can discount.
Oh, no, mind you, it could be a red herring. Doing himself, I mean. She was getting all worked up, wasn't she?
No. He might be devious, but I don't think he'd have the nerve.
No.
Emily, hello. Shouldn't you be at work?
Yes, I should. I'm going to be a few minutes late.
Not like you.
Not at all like me, no.
Something urgent? Something happened?
No, nothing's happened.
Good,
Well, that is...
because whatever it is you have to tell me can wait till I've given you a piece of good news.
Ernest, I am rather
I'm sorry,
late.
I'm bursting to tell you. I've got a confession to make. It's rather marvellous, really.
Ernest, I'm sorry, I don't have time to chat. I came to hear you say what I already know and find out what you're going to do about it.
Hey?
You do know what I'm talking about.
No idea. Now, just listen
Ernest,
to me.
do you care to tell me who Candidus might be?
You guessed!
No, I found some sketches. I wasn't prying. It was quite inadvertent.
Oh, that's all right, as long as you don't tell everybody.
Ernest.
I'm a cartoonist. And just you listen to this. I've been offered a contract to do a weekly feature.
More of
Regular every week. Ralph gave me a ring. He was so tickled with that first one. So what do you think? I'm a cartoonist.
Ernest, you're not serious.
I'm dead serious. Isn't it good?
But it's awful. Have you any idea how much trouble you've caused?
What trouble?
Oh, Mrs. Walker's highly indignant. She's up in
Ah,
arms.
silly woman. She shouldn't be so vain.
You can't just dismiss it. She's been mortally offended.
Nobody ever died of a cartoon, Emily.
But it's such a cruel, nasty thing to
Oh,
do.
nonsense. Look at people like Harold Wilson. Ask for the originals. Look at some of the cartoons of him.
But that's different. It's not the same thing as attacking your friends, the people you live with, the people I live with.
I haven't attacked anybody.
You don't seem to realise. Why do you think Mrs. Walker's been throwing suspicion on everyone and all sorts of people? It's all because of you. She even suspected me.
Oh, that's just idiotic.
Oh, it may be idiotic to you, but it happens to be important to me. Oh, Ernest, you must go and admit to it. Apologise.
I will not. Well, apart from anything else, if everybody knew it was me, well, they'd all be on their guard, wouldn't they, as soon as they saw me? And as a cartoonist...
You are not a cartoonist, and I hope you never will be.
I am, you know. You ask Ralph.
But Ernest, it's just not you. It's not you to be vicious about
Vicious?
people.
Oh, come on,
Well,
Emily.
Of course it is, distorting the way people look.
Picturing them the way they
For
are.
people to laugh at. That's vicious.
Not if they can laugh at themselves. And those that can't are the ripest targets.
And who are you to judge? Oh, Ernest, it's just not you, not as I know you. I can't recognise you doing
I
this.
find you a bit strange, too, to be quite honest. Flying off like this? Why?
Well, if you don't know, obviously you don't understand me.
Of course I believe you, Kenneth. I know you too well not to. It doesn't bring us any nearer, does it? Have you any ideas?
None at all, Mrs. Walker, none at all. What made you pick on me?
Well, I don't want you to be offended, but it did show a modicum of talent.
Talent? Well, any talent at all, Mrs. Walker. It certainly doesn't lie in that line.
Of course not. But, you know, doesn't it show the trouble it causes when even you and I are falling out about
Perish
it?
the thought. As a matter of fact, I'm very flattered that you thought of me, but I can assure you if I did have that talent, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in Fleet Street making a
Do
mint.
you mind if I... Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, it's Mrs. Walker.
It's
She's
Mr.
just
Robbins, surely.
Yeah. How are you, Mrs. Walker?
You were at the, you were a friend of Valerie's.
That's a friend of the family, yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. I'll see myself out.
Okay, that's all right. All right, come in, Dave. Sit down.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, that's all right. Like coffee?
Yep.
Oh, great, great.
You're right, you know, Ken.
What about?
Well, ask the old crow, the lad's being over the top.
No, I've told you, we're all past it. Move over, let the younger generation move in.
Ah, it's amazing. It's a metamorphosis, mate. I've been looking him up. They're another species, Ken. Do you remember Dickie Wise?
Could I ever forget it?
Well, you would now. I've just seen him and I've forgotten him already. Bernie Henderson's the same.
Same as what?
Oh, there's big beer guts on him, mate. Bernie looks about 40. And he's as quiet as a lamb now. Oh, God, you should see his wife. Has she got him under her thumb?
Must be kidding, Bernie Henderson? What, the chap with the
same
biggest RE this side of Mecca?
Oh, Ken, mate, it's pathetic. A man wears walking around with a mortgage written all over his
Oh, what's he
face.
doing?
What's he doing? He's mowing the lawn. Oh, Bernard, the grass is knee high again. Off he went, meek as a lamb.
Oh, yeah, but has he still got his double bass?
Oh, that. Oh, it took up so much room. We couldn't dust around it at all, could we? We managed to get rid of it, didn't I, Bernard?
Oh, God. It's sad, isn't it? Well, who else did you look at?
Oh, don't ask me. It's too grisly, mate, really it is. Still, you haven't changed, have you?
Neither of you.
Oh, well, I never got married, did I? Well, you know what I mean.
Well, come on, there must be somebody we could think of. Hey, what about Tim Wade? He used to play the drums, didn't he?
Yeah, I know
now,
if I
listen, if he's gone under, there's no hope for any of us, so let's just have a look.
Ken,
Wade.
hang on a minute, hang on. Ken, I think it's about time that a few things were said between us.
I don't know, Dave, not now, anyway.
Ken, it obviously hasn't all been forgotten. I mean, do you still want me around after Mrs. What's-its pointed remark?
Look, Dave, we've said everything that had to be said, right?
Yeah, but I mean...
Yeah,
it's-
okay. And as far as I'm concerned, it need never be mentioned again, ever.
Yeah,
All right. Okay, well, let's ring up Tin Wade then and see if we can... Oops, my chair. And see if we can get this thing together.
I don't see why you can't do better than that. Well, that's your problem. I've been dealing with your firm for years. I expect better. Well, see it is here tomorrow morning, and first thing of that, I'll go elsewhere henceforth. And you and Mr. Parker can expect a fairly shirty letter. Let's have no more of it. Well, goodbye.
There's no point in taking it out on other people.
Oh, you've got to take these wholesalers by the throat.
You've only got to be reasonable.
I am very reasonable.
Then please, William.
Will I what?
Oh, you know perfectly well what I mean. Don't pretend you don't. Go to Mrs. Walker.
What, just because she's in a huff?
Oh, it's more than a huff.
Yes, it's a stupid huff. I don't intend to make an apology to her. Is that all you came back for?
Frankly, yes.
Right. I'll go and see Mrs. Walker, if it means that much to you.
Oh, Ernest.
Now, hold your horses. I said nothing about apology. But I'll go and see her, all right. By heck, I will.
Yuck. I'll tell you what, it's a...
Hang on, will you?
I just popped my head in the crossroad. You never guess who's standing in for Mrs. Sharple.
Oh, I heard it was a Mrs. Crossley. Do you know her?
Well, no, not her, but she's Walter Crossley's widow, isn't she?
Oh, I don't think I remember him.
No, well, you weren't at Vimy Ridge second time round, were you?
And you wasn't, was you?
He's a real hero, you know, Walter Crossley.
Yes, but what she's like, they'll want to know.
He got the military medal, he did. He got wounded in his chest and leg. And he carried one of his mates through wire like. Then went back on his own. Accounted for 6 jerrys and a machine gun. Pinned them down, you know. Oh, he was a right fella.
But what's she like?
Oh, well, she's pleasing, you know. She's got his photo up mantelpiece with military medal and all. He never properly recovered, you know. Have you got that bottle of syrup of figs?
Yes, saved special for you.
She hasn't moved nothing around, has she? Because Ina said...
No, she's got the place very nice and very tidy. You know, he ended his days sweeping up at Burtonshaw's. Now, just fancy a fellow like that sweeping up with a military medal and all. Hey, you've heard me talk about Walter Crossley, haven't you?
Quite probably, yeah.
Or maybe I'd better write to him. Have you got a packet of envelopes?
Uncle Albert, if you should hear a lot of noise around my place, don't worry, it's not burglars, it's just some friends of mine that are coming in, and if I'm not there, they're going to let themselves in.
I see, and you want me to keep my eye on them?
No, I want you to just ignore them, just don't bother yourself.
What do you want me to ignore them? What are you bothering to tell me for?
Never mind.
Right, well, look, I won't bother them if they don't bother me.
All right.
Ta-da.
I wouldn't bank on that if I was him. One of them's bringing his drum kit.
Quiet in here tonight. What's up?
Mrs. Walker's got one of her migraines.
Oh, well, tell her to go to bed and have a lie down, because the rest of us haven't.
Mrs. Walker has got a bad attack of the lampoons.
The whatters?
The cartoons, love, she's still hopping mad.
And today it takes the form of a migraine.
Oh, I've no time for that nonsense. Give her a kick up the house of your father and tell her to give over.
You're in a lovely mood today, aren't you?
Oh, well, buy us a drink and that might help a bit.
Give her a bottle of beer, love. Gin money is very scarce.
Among other things. Name my husband, for one.
You know, you can't complain, love. I mean, he's doing all right.
Aye, he is for Billy Walker.
Look, he got a very good deal with Billy Walker. And you stand to gain as much as anybody.
Aye. Maybe I'd be happy if he came home at the same time as other husbands, with a bit more life in him.
He's not doing it all for you, you know, love. I mean, you know and I know that he's doing it for his own self-respect. He's got to get back on top. And you're going to be there with him, you know. So stop complaining.
Aye, I know. That's what makes it so irritating. Especially when you can't complain. Can't take it out of him, so I've got to take it out of somebody else.
And I'm the nearest one, eh?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'll go down to the garage and tell him there's no need to worry when he's burning the midnight oil, because I'll take his Elsie out every night of the week. He'll be back home like a shot.
Well, probably say tar very much.
Not your Ellen.
I'm not being very fair, am I? He's working his guts out there. It's his first chance to do something.
As long as you understand that.
Yeah, but it bothers me. When he is at the top, when he has got straight, is it going to go on like this?
I'd like to speak to Mrs. Walker, please.
Hang on.
Is that Marjorie?
Mrs. Walker?
Mrs. Walker.
Not deaf, Beth.
Mr. Bishop wants a word.
That is so, yes.
Will you come through, Mr. Bishop?
Daniel may have gone into the lion's den, Mrs. Walker, but he didn't exactly put his head between the jaws. No, I'll stay here if you don't mind.
And what exactly was it you wanted to say, then?
Well, you might as well all hear, because I'm only going to say it once. I seem to have stirred up quite a hornet's nest around here.
Ernest didn't realise.
Please
you
be
see,
quiet,
that-
Emily. I can speak for myself.
Well, come on then, Padre, before you choke on it.
Well, I gather from Emily you're all rather keen to know who it was that did the cartoon in the Gazette.
Yes, we are.
Well, it was me.
Hey, what?
Yes, well, it was me.
Was it now?
Yes, it was. It was professional work for which I was paid the normal rate. And I would only like to add that it was done with the intention of recording the event and amusing the reader, without, as some of you seem to think, spite or malice of any kind.
Well, good for you.
And anyone who's foolish enough to think otherwise will just have to lump it.
Ernest.
If by anyone you mean me, why don't you say so? You know my name.
The cap fits, Mrs. Walker. And if you're so vain you can't even share a joke.
Now you're just being insulting.
That seems to be a specialty, dear.
It was never my intention to insult anybody.
Are you trying to tell us that those drawings were not intended to mock people?
Not at all.
Well, then might I ask why you didn't include Miss Nugent among them? Am I being naive?
I can choose to do who I like.
Of course you can. And also who not to do. I suppose you were afraid she would be offended.
It's got nothing to do with it.
Well, now, I ask you, all of you, hasn't he practically admitted that those drawings were offensive? Am I right?
Oh, come on, Auntie Annie. You know very well he couldn't do her.
Very well, then, he didn't, because she wasn't important enough. Is that it?
I don't have to justify my motives on that score. I've said all I've got to say.
Oh, Ernest, can't you just climb down just once for me?
If you had a spark of decency...
No, Mrs. Walker, I am not going to give you an apology because that would be hypocritical. But I will give you this. The original, Mrs. Walker, with my compliments. Just hang on to it. It may just appreciate in value.
I very much doubt that, Mr. Bishop.
Oh, no.
Oh, Auntie Annie.
Right. If we've all made our point, there's no sense in continuing, is there?
Well, I never thought for a moment it'd be him.
Oh, we had our suspicions, didn't we, Mrs. Walker?
Ernest Bishop, I never thought he had it in him.
Good old lady.
Oh, you seen him off, Mrs. Walker. I said this morning, didn't I? And you know, he's got sneaky eyes and all when you come to think about it.
Will you shut up, Mrs. Ogden? You're the only one who's enjoying this, and I resent it. Mrs. Walker, I had no idea at the time. And I can only say I'm extremely sorry.
What? Do you know your trumpet's very tarnished?
No, I don't, but you hum it and I'll play it.
Hey, Kenny, hang on a minute. Do you remember this one?
House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah, what key is it in?
Oh, I thought you'd never know.
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Cole. Were we disturbing you?
Oh, no, it's got me going.
Has it? Well, you can stay if you like.
Well, I thought I might. People don't do it much now, do they? We used to.
Oh, what did you play then, Ma?
Oh, I used to sing. But when there were no wireless, lots of people used to play instruments and get around. Only it's died out now.
Not altogether, Mrs. Corwell. Now then, come on, let's see if we can give her a tune, shall we?
What do you call yourselves?
Very rusty.
Oh, no, but I mean, you've got to have a name.
No. We have, you know. We used to. Seven City Stompers,
Yeah,
we were.
Yeah,
Honestly?
yeah, come on then, let's go.
Right.
How about that then? How's that?
I think that's very good.
That's jazz, man. I nearly got it right. Encore.
Whatever it is, it's dying up.
Well, hope it doesn't go on all night like our Dennis's pot groups.
Oh, I remember that.
Aye, so do I.
I don't think it will. It's just a fella trying to stave off middle age. Let him be.
I might as well. He'll lose, we all do.
Perhaps he's trying to drown something else apart from...
Even besides conversation. Yeah, I suppose he is.
Look, don't take it so flipping seriously. You know it was only a lamb.
Maybe to you.
If you go and see him, you'll only make it worse. Now, come on in.
No, I'm going to have one last try. Reasonable.
Let him cool off, you know, Ernest.
I'm seriously beginning to wonder.
Well, whether you do or not, love, he's the only bloke you've got. So someone having a party?
More like a last fling, love.
See you.
Yeah.
Hey up.
Someone tells me it's not his seed.
Shouldn't you be at work, Emily? There'll be trouble.
Don't sidestep the issue, Ernest. I've wronged them. I had to come and see you.
Well, unless you've changed your attitude, there doesn't seem to be much point.
My attitude?
Yes, I just don't understand it. Do you know what I thought? I thought you'd be glad. I thought at least you'd be pleased that I'd had a little success, but not a bit of it. I just don't understand.
Well, if you don't, it's because you don't understand me.
I don't. I thought you'd be proud.
Proud?
Well, when Ralph offered me that regular spot, yes.
You're not still thinking of doing it.
You're too right I am.
Now you've seen the trouble it's caused.
It's vanity that caused the trouble, Emily, not me. Vanity. And there's a lot to be said for pricking vanity.
Now don't pretend it's a moral issue.
I thought that was what you were saying. It's a question of principles, you said.
Well, so it is.
Your principles, not mine.
Ernest, one last time, let me try to make you see reason. Please let me convince you. You mustn't take up that offer. You mustn't, or I just can't.
It's either that or you. Is that what you're trying to say?
Let me convince you.
I'm prepared to let you try. Go on.
Bothering no one.
Listen to it, will you?
If Ken's enjoying himself, nobody bothers round here.
Oh, well, that's just where you're wrong. It's not Ken, it's them mates of
Of course it's Ken. Listen to that trumpet.
Oh, no, it isn't. He warned me. They're taking advantage, but I'll soon straighten them out.
Hello, somebody knocked. Did you knock? I couldn't tell with all the noise, you know.
What's the big idea, then?
Well, we're having a jam session.
Yeah, don't need to tell me that. That racket carriage, you can just cut it out.
Oh, come on, Uncle Albert, do me a favour, as long as if it's late at night and like
Time's
that.
got no to do with it. A noise is noise, but that's a flaming row.
Oh, don't mind about it. No one else does.
Yeah, but I do mind because I can't hear myself thinking there.
You're not even in there. You've just walked down the street.
I know what comes through them walls,
Uncle
don't I?
Albert, we're just having a bit of fun.
And that includes me. Oh, you're a mean old so-and-so.
I see, you're encouraging him as well, are you? Well, I know you, that's just to get at me, innit?
Oh, don't be stupid, Uncle Albert.
Stupid, you won't think I'm stupid when I bet the coppers.
Oh, go on then. Go and tell the coppers. Make a fool of yourself. We've got nothing better to do than listen to cantankerous men like you all day. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to carry on.
Oh, you don't care, Barley, you've changed everything. You wouldn't have spoken to me like that if our Val had been alive, and you wouldn't have kicked up that row either, because she wouldn't have stood for it if you'd been here today.
Thank you for that, Uncle Albert.
Well, it's true.
Now, just get this straight, Uncle Albert. I may have put up with you just for Val's sake, but now, quite rightly, as you say, I don't have to anymore. Now, if you don't like this noise, you can take yourself off to Beatty or Berry or bloody Timbuktu for all I care.
Have you got no sense?
Did you hear what he said to me?
Oh, so help me, Albert. You asked for that.
Rover's return. Yeah, hang on a minute. Auntie Anne, it's for you.
Anne Walker here? Yes. Hello. How lovely to hear from you. How are you? Did you? But surely you don't get the Gazette? How nice of you. Oh, well, we were just amused. You know, one takes these things in their stride. Would you really? Have to see what I can do.
Do you want a cup of tea? I've just put the kettle on. Oh, you know, some people can't half be stupid. You know what Albert Tatlock's just said to Ken? Please, Lucille, not just now. I would like a cup of tea, though, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
kid, don't...
please, Lucille.
You'll never guess who that was.
A fella, I can tell that much.
Well, it was the gentleman, one of the gentlemen I met on the cruise. And he's seen Ernest Bishop's cartoon because he gets the Gazette sent to him in case there's anything about me in it.
And you were in it, weren't you?
Miss Nugent, I hardly know how to say this. He wondered if he might have the original.
Mrs. Walker, you know that has nothing to do with me.
Well, I suppose we have been rather silly. You know, dear, we could mend it and get Ernest to sign it. Could you do that for me?
Well, that could be a little bit difficult, Mrs. Walker.
Come now, I'm sure Ernest isn't so offended.
Mrs. Walker, you don't understand. Ernest Bishop and I are no longer speaking. He no longer has anything to do with me.